This is gonna be insanity, man. All the Slamy vocal shit is insanity, from what I've heard so far, so.
When children lie down to rest at night, parents sit by side. They tell them the fairy tales from a golden time, stories that will make their blood run cold.
That's interesting, man. The drum timings are very different to what I was expecting. But no, anyway. I love the melody underneath one. The melody underneath is so good. Your enunciation is so fucking hard to understand. As I'm like, even just reading, I'm like, I can follow, but I'm just like, I have to concentrate. That's why I wasn't really talking, because like, your enunciation is so hard to follow. Like, just for me to be like, it's okay, you're totally fine. I know enunciation's hard, like when you're doing vocals, man, but still, your vocals are sick. Like, your vocals are amazing, but at the same time, like, yeah, like, you didn't enunciate like half of these words properly, but it's totally fine, man. Just my little nitpick. Let's see, man. So, when children lie down to rest at night, the parents sit beside. They tell them the fairy tales from a forgotten time. Yeah, man, they tell them all, like, they tell them the twisted versions of the real ones, man. The ones where it was bloody and death-ridden and all that shit, man. They turn them into nice fairy tales rather than the dark fucking tales that they once were. Stories that will make their blood run cold. The stories they dream about, they cannot hide from them. Carnivores whose favourite food is children, for whom they can never escape. The poor children who wake up drenched in sweat. Like, I would guess it is kind of cool to, like, tell your children about all these kinds of things, but it's only to, like, I don't know, it's just like stories, isn't it? It's to make their imaginations work in a weird way. I see, the thoughts are screaming that they do not lose body parts. They are not baked into bread. The wolf does not eat them, but the parents do not listen. The children look under their beds. They are afraid of cupboards. The mirror is another world when they look into it. Their gaze freezes. Mother, leave the lights on. And, like, yeah, basically, it's basically like going into the eyes of a child where you are basically almost forcing that child to imagine, like, dangers into the world, even when they're very, very, very little, very, very young. Like, they are constantly looking under the beds, like, afraid of cupboards, afraid of being in the dark, that type of stuff. Where like it shouldn't really be a thing if like the parents never told those tales to begin with. I imagine we'd have far less frightened children. But also I think it's that a lot of children come up with their own kinds of distractions and their own kinds of fears. It's like a lot of kids fear the dark before they've ever read a fairy tale. It's just a kid's thing, but like then the parents like accelerate that and they make it worse or they change it up or whichever kind of fucking way you want to go about it. So when I tell the fairy tales, I could cry. The children never come back. The children cry so loudly. Yeah, we'll keep going in a bit. Let's see. And when to see if it's going to drop into craziness or something, or if it's going to go different ways, man. This is very different to what I was expecting, but I'm loving it so far. It's a very sick song. That was really fucking sick. We'll go back through the rest of the sunset, but damn. I know for me it feels too light in terms of lyrics. I think I like more blood and gore in my lyrics, man. But I don't know. Like for me, like I would have not just made it like a cautionary tale. I would have had more visualities. I would have added more death, destruction, ripping apart type shit. But I don't know, man. Maybe that's just my fucked up mind. So when I tell the fairy tales, I could cry. The children never come back. The children cry so loudly, but no one can hear them. They're now part of my fairy tale where the lights go out. Like yeah, like it's almost like it's like a creature who's almost feeding off the imagination of children. Where it's like, could you imagine like some kind of like fantasy creature who was literally trying to feast on the children in like a literal sense, where you've got that blurred line between reality and fiction, like where there's some form of semblance of reality where the fiction is and reality, well, like where reality ends and fiction begins type way. You're going to press your face on the wall because you want to feel alive. The children's eyes grow wide, they listen with delight to tales of magic kingdoms where heroes take their flights. But beware the lurking danger concealed within the tale. Like, yeah, you gotta beware of like the cautionary tales. That's kind of what they were made for, in a weird way. For the line between fantasy and reality is frail. The stories they immerse and take them to worlds unknown, where dreams and nightmares mingle in the twilight zone. Like, yeah, makes sense. Like, yes, like that cautionary tale of like, be careful of what you tell, be careful of what you do, because you don't know what's quite real, what quite isn't real. It's like, that's kind of what I'm getting anyway. Whether that's what he's actually going for, I don't know. But I actually have like, but like I have these nice things at the top which tell me what he means. So it's perfectly fine. Take your time, Hunted. Let's see. So the Slamy vocal says about this song. The song reflects the somber atmosphere of German fairy tales, often conveying fear instead of values, inspired by reflections on the adverse effects of such narratives on children. It delves into the depths of childhood fears evoked by these tales, advocating for a re-evaluating of fairy tale storytelling to convey more positive messages. By emphasizing the emotional impact of such narratives, it aims to raise awareness of their influence on children's development. Like, I guess, but I don't know. Like, because like it depends what you read. If you read like Grimm's fairy tales and stuff like that, then sure, those are a little bit more fucked up, a little bit more bloody, right? But I don't know. I mean, when I was a kid, I was watching like Hellraiser and fucking Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff. When I was a kid, man, when I was like 7, 8, whatever, like fairy tales are nothing compared to like fairy tales. But still. I say the chorus expresses that you can't always hide behind the fantasy world. Tears flow during the stories as the vocalist thinks back to his childhood. He experienced mental, physical, and sexual violence as a child. He wishes he would never come back from his fairy tale world. He lost his childhood and will never get it back, thanks to the violence he experienced every night. That sucks to hear, man. I'm sorry. I didn't know about that. But I think, like, I know what it means to hide in the fantasy world in that way, like, especially when you're trying to hide from something that's really fucked up in real life. Like, I do get that. But that's not expressed in the lyrics either. Like, I know the end bit, like, that what you experienced doesn't really... It isn't showed in the lyrics as such, what you're trying to convey. It feels more like a cautionary tale of, like, influencing children rather than the other, but still. Fucking awesome song, nonetheless. I'm talking too much. I know. That's why the song isn't too... Yeah, way too much emotion for you. I totally get you, man. But yeah, man, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful day. Take it easy.